Bitcoin is now trading at another all-time high, and this is putting us in the next stage of the parabolic trend, which could be considered the vertical stage, the point when the price goes quite literally vertical for multiple months, according to the textbook diagram. Also, the S&P 500 touched another all-time high today, closed right around the previous all-time high, so that's very positive. And the altcoin index, the others chart, is beginning to come up to this downward sloping resistance line, which is very likely the next up phase for altcoins. The next alt season is very likely about to begin. We're in the same setup as our past setup. The breakout is imminent. All of this and more in today's video. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Kevin Svenson, and today we're going to be discussing Bitcoin, Ethereum, altcoins. Everything is starting to pump, which means we may have just entered what I call everything season. And I think that is a very self-explanatory word or phrase. I mean, it pretty much means everything is going up, which is the case today. Now, before we get started, I just want to mention BloFin. This is the exchange that I'm using. One of the features that I haven't talked about much yet is one of my favorite features is the ability to deploy trading bots, your own trading bots through TradingView. The integration between TradingView and BloFin is seamless. It's so easy to have it run whatever strategies you want. It gives you some peace of mind knowing that you're still trading the market even when you're not at your computer. And currently I'm testing out some new strategies at the moment. And if you guys want me to make a tutorial on trading bots and how you can deploy them yourself and implement your own strategies, let me know below, because it's something that I'm thinking about doing. So let me know. Moving back to Bitcoin, this is Bitcoin's weekly chart. And as you can see on the weekly chart, we're currently entering the next major phase. One of the most exciting phases is the point in which the price action goes vertical when you're looking at it on linear scale, where the trend line basically becomes eventually a straight line up. And of course, at some point, it becomes unsustainable. But right now, I think Bitcoin has major momentum, and it's very likely that Bitcoin will continue to trend up for many months, going to a much, much higher price level. As we've discussed in previous videos, I'm looking at 142,500 as a median price target, as sort of an ideal, most likely price target. It could be more than that. It could be less than that. We will see how the things develop. And that's my current outlook for the final phase of this parabola. Again, that is subject to change, right? Right now, I don't have a reason to change that prediction. But as time goes on, maybe I'll have a reason to change it. We'll see. In the short term for Bitcoin, this is the 15-minute chart. Obviously, things are going really well. Bitcoin is stair-stepping its way up into new all-time highs. This is officially a blue sky breakout. There is no previous resistance above us. Our first major Fibonacci target from highest high to lowest low is sitting at about 120,500. That is the 1618, towards that $120,000 level. And considering that it's only July, and most cycles for Bitcoin last all the way until 80 weeks after the halving. Every cycle has lasted at least up to 80 weeks post-halving. That's coming in at around end of October, and it's only July. And we're talking about Bitcoin now in July hitting 115, 120,000. That means that by the time October comes around, I mean, there could be some pretty crazy levels that show up for Bitcoin. Again, I'm sticking to my $142,000 price level, but I just want to show you guys how quickly things can move, especially in the final phase of a parabolic trend. The price action is usually what they call face melting, right? Something that was things that don't happen very often, pumps that blow your mind basically. And that is what I expect. As long as the S&P 500 continues to climb and float up into these new all-time highs, continues to charge into new all-time highs, as long as the S&P is doing that, then Bitcoin can really get as bullish as it wants. It's only until the S&P reverses that this run would be expected to stop for Bitcoin. If the S&P is charging up, Bitcoin's charging up almost every time, right? Especially at a new all-time high zone for both of them. Things usually get really, really bullish. And the altcoins, the others chart, right? This is the altcoin index, all the coins outside the top 10. This is the others daily chart. And you can see the current setup that we have is very reminiscent of the setup right before the election when we had a huge pump. And we're coming up on this downward sloping resistance line. And as I was talking about in previous videos, these pumps where the altcoins do really well, they take place when the S&P and Bitcoin are both heading up, both breaking out, both at new all-time highs. When Bitcoin and the S&P are both charging for new all-time highs, or both in new all-time highs, which they are right now, that's when you start to get these types of major, quick, fast altcoin pumps. And I think that we're on the verge of seeing that right now. I think the altcoins are ready for a major spring up to at least 550 billion on the others chart, right? That is sort of the expected next trend. Could we go higher than that in this cycle? Sure. But this is what I'm focused on right now, is this major move to 550 billion, and then we'll see what it's like from there. It might sound crazy, but this last run that we had from this low was only 34 days. These moves can happen very, very quickly. Now, Ethereum on the weekly chart is currently sitting at this, what I call the break-even zone, right? This is a point when a lot of people are coming back to break even. And we've had a lot of break-even resistance for Ethereum. You see all these wicks right there for Ethereum on the weekly. There was a lot of sell pressure, a lot of suppression of the price on this recent consolidation. A lot of people were looking for the exit door. And I think there was a lot of break-even resistance. People came back above zero or back to zero, and they wanted out. And I think we saw just a lot of pressure there because of that, for that reason. If we can flip this zone and get above, 3,000, well, historically, when you're above about 2,800, 3,000, the price swings toward 4,000 very, very fast. Look left on the chart. Straight up, straight down, straight up, straight down. Quick up, quick down, quick up, quick down. It's just ping-ponging up towards 4 and back the entire time, right? There has been no real stoppage in play in this zone. It's a swing range. So if Ethereum can close this weekly above that recent high at 2,800 or 2,900, then we might be looking for just a few weeks, and we might be looking to test 4,000. Is it really that crazy when you look at the history of the chart? To me, it looks pretty routine for Ethereum to just swing to 4, right? It might seem crazy because of all the emotions behind what Ethereum has done, but in this recent dump, but this is a routine move to 4,000 that's coming up, in my opinion. Of course, by the end of the cycle, it could be much higher, but for now, that's what I'm focused on, is getting that move. Looking at CoinGecko, the homepage here, you can see pretty much everything is green today for the most part, right? This is the 1 hour performance. This is the 24-hour performance. This is the 7-day performance. You go down the list and everything is pretty much green. So we're entering what I call everything season, where everything gets a little bit of love. Everything sees some upside as the excitement returns for crypto. And that usually means that dominance is starting to pull back, which in this case right now, we're seeing that it's attempting to fight for this trend line. It has been seeing lower lows and lower highs all the way since, June 25th, lower lows, lower highs. But if you back out to the daily chart, you can see we're coming up on a steep trend line. And it's going to be difficult for Bitcoin to maintain, for Bitcoin dominance to maintain this trend line is going to be very difficult if we're seeing an everything season where all the coins are going up. And if Ethereum breaks that 3K level, I don't think Bitcoin dominance is going to maintain this zone. It's very likely that we're going to start to see a breakdown in dominance. It may not be super quick, but I think we're going to start to see this curl over, maybe create some sort of inverse head and shoulders and push back down. So that's what I'm looking for dominance. So just want to come on here, give you guys a quick update because obviously historic day, Bitcoin breaking out to new all-time highs once again. The cycle seems to be picking up. I think altcoins are gearing up for a major trend to the upside, with the other chart showing this current pattern, this current wave count, you could say. S&P, Bitcoin, both at all-time highs is usually when the alts run, because confidence is very high when Bitcoin and the S&P are both at all-time highs. So very likely a huge move up for alts coming in the coming months. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Smash like, subscribe to this channel. Be sure to sign up for BloFin using that link below. Again, I can make a trading bot tutorial if you guys want. Let me know below if you would like something like that. And I'll see you all in the next video.